No, my last year of college, I actually was working out here one summer for a record label, and I was like, I just had to find new music, and then it just kind of hit me. I was like, I can make beats better than this, or I could write a song just like that, or better, or worse, whatever. And then I just went into a studio one night because I just asked the guy's producer, I was just like, can you just show me what you do? Like, I'm just curious. I don't know, a quarter of the way through that internship, I started writing for a couple artists, and from that point on, I was just working, and then I got signed as a writer / producer. After that, I thought it was just like a regular meet, and the guy's like, I want you to be an artist, and I was like, no, I'm good. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, I kind of just like living behind the scenes, and he's like, I think you're wrong.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel. Today I'm here with Stephen PUTH.
Hello.
So you were born in Rumson? How do you say it?
Yeah, Rumson,
yeah.
New Jersey. It's
like
right on the water.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's like a little sleepy beach town.
Are your parents originally from New Jersey as well, or?
Born and raised, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're not there right now, are we? Although it kind of feels like it. It's pretty,
yeah,
it's pretty grim out.
Northeasty.
Yeah, very northeasty. I like that. That's a good adjective. Northeasty.
And growing up, is your mom still teaches piano, or was that just?
So she taught us piano, and then
yeah.
she had a couple of students growing up. Now, no, I mean, but realistically, if she had a friend in town that's like, hey, my kid wants to learn piano, she would of course do it. So.
But was that did she have another job, or?
When she was, before, I guess, having children, she used to do advertising with,
okay.
HBO, she worked at MTV, yeah, so she was just doing that stuff, I guess. It was really intense, I could only imagine. But by the time she had us, she wasn't working. She was taking care of us. But doing piano in between, she used to teach at our school. Oh. We used to have music class sometimes, and she would fill in for the teacher. And at one point, she took over for like 8 months. So that was great.
And was your dad always in real estate, or?
Yeah, I mean, dating way back before I guess I was even a thought. He used to work at Kidder Peabody, which was a financial institution. Before that, he was selling copiers, and then yeah, he switched to real estate, and he was like, I'm kind of over this. So
would you say you got your creative side from your mom then?
You know, that's a good argument, because in some I'd say yes, but supposedly my father's grandfather, so my great-grandfather, apparently he was incredibly musical, had perfect pitch.
Oh, wow.
But we don't know that to be true. That's just going off he said, she said. So
yeah.
At the end of the day, my creative instinct, I mean, it was definitely taught and developed from, yeah, probably just learning from my mom and whoever else taught me as a child.
What kind of music was played in the house?
Everything. Literally everything, from classical music to jazz music to Van Morrison, definitely the Beatles, a lot of Beatles, yeah. Literally everything.
But you gravitated more towards rock, right? Early
100%.
Yeah.
When I was like 12 years old, I was like, what is classic rock? This is sick. And like, yeah, it was definitely compiled of my mom's, I guess discography would be the right term, collection of musical discography. How about that? I don't even know if that's right. I'm just throwing out words, but yeah, essentially definitely gravitated towards hers, where my father's was more soul related. And yeah, it was, you know, I think it's a great foundation, but then also just having the ability to look up music all the time on the internet, and it's no different than now, like everyone has this capability. So. And
that made you want to pick up a guitar?
To pick up a guitar, how did that work? I mean, I was first piano player, classically trained, and as I was for high school, I was like, I don't like piano, flat out. I hate it. So as a result, I just taught myself guitar, and I was pretty bad at it for a while, but I really liked it. But like, yeah, it was kind of like spiting piano. I was just like, I don't really like it. But so I stopped playing piano for a couple, like maybe like 4 years when I was in high school, essentially. Then I started picking up the guitar, and I was like, this is way more my style. And then when I went to college, I kind of...
Actually, going back, like, were you in some bands in high school?
No.
Most people who pick up guitar, I feel like, during high school are in bands.
No, I was like the, like, very, like, closet insecure, nobody can know I play music. Because, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, in middle school, I was like, I was always on sports teams. You
did, like, ice hockey, right?
Ice hockey, I played baseball. In high school, I played water polo a couple of years, which was fun.
Oh, I love water polo.
Yeah, that was one of the most exciting times ever, I think. And the problem is, I wasn't like this insane athlete. I was just always a kid that would make the varsity team or whatever, and I would be in between that and, oh, you have to go perform, because I'd be an orchestra or jazz ensemble or like a, you know, whatever. And
what were you doing in jazz? Like, what was your instrument?
Mediocre, at least. I guess just mediocre piano. That was more like a middle school fad that died very quickly. Orchestra was like percussive, and I didn't hate it. I just didn't really like it. So then I quit that in high school, and then, not even kidding, it was like some Glee type group where it's like a cappella group, and I was like, this looks fun. And honestly, that made music fun again. That a cappella group thing, because I never had sang before that. But it's like sitting there with either like timpanis or whatever, a triangle. I'm not even kidding, a triangle, or the bells or the xylophone. It was just like so boring. And it's like the music, when you got to sing it with 8 other guys and girls, whatever it called for, it was just fun to mix it all together. So, you know, that kind of reinvigorated my interest in music.
And does your sister do music as well, or?
I mean, she knows how to play piano, but she doesn't play. But she used to sing and whatnot too. But yeah.
What was it like with the twin though? Because you said you had like a secret language with her.
Oh, when I was younger. Oh, that's right. That's when I was way younger. Like when I was like literally before we could even
so cute though.
Speak. Yeah, I was just kind of the. I guess I was the what's the term? Transcriber. Linguistic twin, I don't know. The translator, wow, I overcomplicated that one. I was just like, I don't know, she used to speak a little language.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we used to speak, like, stuff like that, but, no, I mean, she,
Did you ever practice music together, the three of you?
Practice music together.
Or play
together? No, not really.
It's cool that you found music on your own, like, individually.
Yeah, it wasn't like some Jackson 5 situation where it was like, oh, let's all go to the basement and play instruments. Like, no, it wasn't like that, but it was kind of just, we all had to do it, and then it found more interest to, you know, I was less intrigued by it, Mikhail was less intrigued, and my brother was more intrigued, and then it all kind of circled around where, you know, we all just kind of found where we enjoy it and what we like to do. So,
what made you want to study history in college?
I had this one teacher in high school, and he was out of his mind, but I just thought he was like one of the smartest, coolest guys. He's just very spiritual, and he taught history, and I kind of fell in love with that for that reason. When I went to college, it was a Civil War college. I learned really fast I wasn't that good at history, but I enjoyed it. It's just the workload was kind of demanding.
At that point, what kind of career did you think you would have?
Well, I was gearing towards finance. I actually took time off at one point to where I was working at a place that exchange traded funds.
Oh, you didn't think to study business then?
No, yeah, I know that's the logical thing, but turns out I'm really bad at econ.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't get past econ 101, micro or macro. So, but the reality is, it's like, I still understood it without the class. But there's so many like prereqs now, and in life where I just was kind of like, just remember one day I was like going back, I was just like, I don't think I could do this for the rest of my life.
What intrigued you about finance initially though?
I've always, since like 6th grade, I've been trading money.
Oh.
Whether it's been like $100 or like $50, like I was always curious about the stock market. When I was younger, there's like you can do like play like with fake money, like you can do like trading that's like real time to some extent, and it was just practice. I was fascinated. My buddy and I used to love doing that. So I guess I still get to do that, but the only difference is it's my money now, and if I screw it up, I screw it up. So, yeah.
And then after college, did you start working corporate jobs? Was it in New Jersey, or where was it? Or were you working these jobs?
This was in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
No, these jobs were in New York.
Oh, okay.
But, no, my last year of college, I actually was working out here one summer for a record label. And I was like, I just had to find new music. And then it just kind of hit me. I was like, I can make beats better than this, or I could write a song just like that, or better, or worse, whatever. And then I just went into a studio one night because I just asked the guy's producer, I was just like, can you just show me what you do? Like, I'm just curious. And I don't know why, but as soon as he started doing it, it all just made sense. Like the program, Pro Tools, like, I guess I had like intrinsically seen it so long throughout my life where like, I just immediately knew how to use it relatively fast.
Oh, wow.
So then I went back to school and I bought it, and I just like essentially stopped going to class and just was just sitting in a dorm room all day trying to figure this program out. And then I moved out here after graduation, had another internship as a college graduate, great, for a record label. And like, I don't know, a quarter of the way through that internship, I started writing for a couple artists, and from that point on, I was just working, and then I got signed as a writer / producer.
Did you already have a bunch of cuts before you were signed as a writer?
No.
Oh, so they kind of just believed in you. I love that.
I think at the time I had one song, and it was like an EDM song, and
what was it?
It was with, what's it called? It's called Space. Quinn 92 was singing as the feature artist.
Oh, okay.
So, and that didn't do anything. It was a very small song, but it was cool to like see it, because I wrote it with a friend named Sam from a while ago, and I was like, that's cool. And but that was it. And then all the songs I had, it's like they weren't very pitchable to artists, because I guess my voice, I have to sing lower, which kind of makes it harder to pitch, because not a lot of artists want to cut songs where you have to sing really low. It's got to be in their range. And then on top of it, just like the topics, I guess the songs became a little more personable. So then after that, I thought it was just like a regular meet, and the guy's like, I want you to be an artist. And I was like, no, I'm good. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, I kind of just like living behind the scenes. And he's like, I think you're wrong. So he wouldn't let it go, David. He reached out to me again, and then again. And then that third time, I was like, all right, what's the worst that happens? I just go back to writing.
And before that, you already have written for Jack and Jack.
I wrote once with them.
Yeah.
The song didn't come to be anything, but they were really cool kids. They're actually like fun to write with.
Yeah, I actually interviewed them too.
They're actually like, they're low-key really, really talented.
Yeah.
Both Jacks, like, just sitting there, like it's very interesting, because these days now, music can be, not that it is, but can be manufactured at an absurd rate, where it's like the artist only has to perform it, which is fine. Like, I mean, Frank Sinatra didn't write his own stuff. Elvis, same thing. Like, a lot of people, like that's an old school way of thinking. Get the writer to write the song, the producer to produce it, the artist to perform it. But with those kids, I mean, it's been a while, but like, what was cool about them is they were in the room. Was the song great? Nah, it was alright. Like, but that happens. So sometimes you gotta write like 10 times, 100 times to get one good thing. But, you know, it's just a lot of respect, because it's like, they're doing the artist thing, they're writing, and I'm pretty sure they said they produced too. So it's like, they're just trying to do everything, which is great. But, you know, so like, yeah, we worked together. I worked with my good buddies, the Vamps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him, Bradley, Tristan. They're great guys. We've done a couple songs with them. Maybe they come out. I think they will.
Yeah.
But they're awesome. They're talented. They're the sweetest dudes, and they're friends. Like, we go out, we hang out, like, and they're super normal. We went to the beach one day. We actually came back here. It was a crazy day. It was a weird day. That's a different story. But yeah, they're great guys.
Do you think you have pressure for your own artist project?
Everyone has pressure. I probably put the most pressure on myself. The reality is I've only been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've made good progress. But in my mind, I'm just like, the whole time all I can think of is just like not satisfied.
And you said this in a previous interview, but like for you, feeling like when you're going through love, it was like pizza giving away slices. I like that. Can you like elaborate more?
I mean, who doesn't hate pizza? I love it. No, but it's just like, I guess that perspective is just a moment in time where that's how I felt. I genuinely don't think I feel that way now. Like, I think it's just like, at the time I felt like I just kept giving out, hoping something would strike. And it's like, by the time you finally find one person, or you think at the time you find one person, you got this one cold, like, gross pizza. No, but like, for real. Like, it just kind of feels like, here's the last piece of my heart pie. It's the best I can do. And it's like, it's just like, I think it also dictates like where my mind was at the time, where it's like, you know, yeah, I was probably just a little hopeless, like feeling hopeless. So that stuff all changes, I suppose. But yeah, at the time, I just kind of felt like every time I was giving a piece out, I felt like I was losing a part of me. But I think your identity is always constantly changing regardless. So yeah, maybe I was given a piece of my old identity, but I don't think that's me anymore.
What's inspiration for Half Gone?
Definitely previous relationships, hands down. That's definitely truthful. But also, yeah, how I felt at the time, where it's like, and you know, in a weird way, it's not like an emotional thing where I'm like, oh my god, my life's ruined right now. Like, no. I think it was kind of just more like a closure piece, where I was just like, alright, I can move on from that, like, clear-minded, without hard feelings.
Does a person know it's about them?
Might be about a couple people. It's not necessarily about one specific person. But I can think of at one time where, you know, I was talking to somebody new, and that was my mindset, where I was like, well, this person seems really cool and I really like them, but it's like, A, am I really going to give all my effort? Am I still fed up on the previous thing? Yes. And as a result, like, how am I going to be able to actually put my effort towards this? And it was kind of, I guess, a foreshadowing, because that fell apart either way. Pretty badly. Whoops. But it's not like, it's, you know, there's no hard feelings. Just like, tried something and it didn't work. At the end of the day, you just have to go with whatever random feeling you have. It's not like you're trying to purposely mislead somebody.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think in hindsight, the best thing for me would have been just to, you know, take a couple of years off from the dating scene and just, like, get to know me more. And then go back to it with a fresh set. Because it's like, how are you supposed to know somebody else when, like, it's going to take, what, a whole lifetime to actually figure out who you are, kind of? So it's like the best that you can do is just give yourself a little time before you go back into it. So it's all, you know.
Yeah.
I think that song was like a great closure piece where it meant a lot. I mean, it still means a lot, because it's definitely like it definitely signifies a point in my life where I was like obviously low, and then, you know, I think I came around all right. So it's like, it's all good.
How would you say you've grown as a person compared to when you were younger?
I mean, am I allowed to curse on this thing?
Yeah.
I was, like, truthfully, I was just like, I was so reckless, and just, yeah, just very hyped out. Go back up there again? Or no, I was just completely, like, typical teenager, But, you know, younger kid, I was always getting in trouble. I was like the straight A student who was always getting in trouble for like the weirdest things. I don't know. I guess there was a little rebel child in me that developed over time. But, yeah, I guess that's probably a good description. I think I came around, but, you know, it was pretty decent.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges so far in your life?
Making my bed every morning, that's hard. No, I mean, it's just remembering, like, because there's obviously going to be days where you're just like, I don't want to do anything today. I don't want to work. Maybe you're really sad, and then there's other days where you're like, life is great, I love work, and it's like super bipolar. And then on top of it, it's just life expectancy. It's like, you know, you got to do all this, you got to perform, you got to write music, and you got to juggle all these things. On top of it, don't get too out of shape because you'll get stressed. But also, like, just learning the importance of balance, you know? Like, can't go out every weekend and drink like a psycho.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you just slow it down and just, like, I don't know. It's kind of like your balancing part of you. I feel like my 20s is just, like, trying to balance me. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
What does love mean to you?
It's just immediately said, I was like, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Balance. Definitely balance. Meet someone who can, like, if you're hyped, meet someone who can chill you out hard. If you're someone who's, like, introverted and you don't go out too much, maybe meet somebody who can bring out that, like, wild side in you. But then on top of it, it's like, there's you, there's them, and then there's us. And those are, like, 3 parts of growth, where it's like, you gotta focus on you for the rest of your life, figure out you. While doing that, you gotta figure out who they are. And then on top of it, you gotta figure out what the 2 of you together, the us factor. You gotta think about 3 things. And it sounds tough, but, you know, everybody's been, they've been doing it since the beginning of time. So I have faith in those who feel hopeless.
Last question, what do you want to be remembered for?
What do I want to be remembered for? Hopefully nothing bad or reckless. I mean, to be honest, like, I'm not really a egocentric, driven person. Like, truthfully, in an ideal world, if you told me I could go live in the woods in a small cabin, I'd be down. On a global standpoint, like, what am I remembered for? Like, that's just arbitrary to me. I don't know. If I can make music that people can resonate with, or, you know, maybe Half Gone, for example, like, maybe that helps somebody right now in a relationship. I've probably never met them. I probably never will meet them. Maybe almost say never. But very unlikely circumstance. If someone ever reached out and was like, hey, just, you know, your song, like, I was feeling that too, then I could go, oh, cool, like, I'm not the only psycho then writing about, like, these things. But then, like, someone can actually go, I relate to it. If one person can remember that, I think I've lived a pretty good life then.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
I love this. This is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. This is such a big hill. That might also, yes, car, alarms, car. Also, like, in your driveway, that's kind of impressive.